So today discuss the Moby Dick character list and summary. Before we go through the summary, I go through the little bit sum up of a character list of Moby Dick. So first, the character is Captain Ahab. Okay, so Ahab is the captain of the Piku. Sorry, Piqued, a grave older man reaching his 60s who has spent nearly 40 years as a sailor. So, Captain Ahab, who is a 40 years experience as a sailor, only 3 of which he has spent on dry land. Okay, so the novel is essentially the story of Ahab and his quest to defeat the legendary uh, sperm whale Moby Dick, for which whale took Ahab's leg, causing him to use an ivory leg to walk and stand. Ahab is a dour, imposing man who frightens his crew through his unwavering obsession with defeating Moby Dick and his grand hubris. In many respects, Melville portrays Ahab as barely human, bravely governed by human mores and con- conventions, and nearly entirely subject to his own obsession with Moby Dick. Melville describes him in mostly alien terms. Ahab is a spectral figure hunting Stubbs' dream and existing in a place away from the living. He is in some way a machine, unaffected by human aptitudes and without recognizable emotion, and most important, he claims himself a god over the Pepud, but instead he may a satanic figure through his somewhat uh, blasphemous quest against the white whale. Okay, then the character is Ismail. Ismail is the narrator of the novel, a simple sailor on the Pickwood, who undertakes the journey because of his affection for the ocean and his need to go seen whenever he feels hazy about the eyes. As the narrator, Isabel establishes him as somewhat for a cheaper and everyman, and in fact, his role in the plot of the novel is inconsequential. His primary task is to observe the conflicts around him. Nevertheless, Melville does give his narrator several significant character traits, the most important of which is his idealization of the uh, sperm whale and his belief in its majesty. Also, it is Isabel who has the only significant personal relationship in the novel. He becomes a close friend with the pagan harpooner Queequeg and comes to cherish and adore Queequeg to a somewhat improbable level open to great interpretation. Melville even describes their relationship in terms of a marriage. Isabel is the only survivor of the Pickard's boys living to tell the tale of Moby Dick only because he is by chance on a walming board when Moby Dick sings the uh, Peapod. I think Peapod is a river names and is rescued by a nearby ship. And the next character is Starbuck. Starbuck is the chief mate of the Pequod. a Nantucket native and a Quaker with a thin build and a pragmatic manner. In appearance, Starbuck is quite thin and sees condensed into his most essential characteristics, and his streamlined appearance while suits his attitudes and behavior. Melville portrays Starbucks as both a strong believer in human fallibility and an idealist who believes that these feelings may be content. Among the characters in Moby Dick, it is only Starbuck who openly opposed Captain Ahab, believing his quest against the great whale to be an impulsive and suicidal folly. However, despite his open messaging about Ahab and the open hostility between these two characters that culminates when Ahab points his musket at Starbucks, the conflicted Starbuck remains loyal to his captain even when he has the possibility of vanishing Ahab. It Ahab serves as the protagonist of the novel, and Ahab, the narrator, Isabel, is the character whom Melville uh, intends as the proxy of the reader. The only character given a gamut of emotion, ranging from pity and fear to contempt. Starbuck is Melville's surrogate for an emotional response from his audience. Now, the another character is Queequeg. Queequeg is a harpooner from New Zealand, the son of a king who renounces the throne in order to travel the world on whaling ships and learn about Christian society. Isabel meets Quick when the two must share a bed at the Spouter Inn in New Bedford before journeying to Nantucket. To undertake the journey on the Precood, Marvel portrays Quick as a blend of civilized behavior and savagery. Certainly, in his appearance and upbringing, he is uncivilized by the standards of the main characters of the novel, yet Melville finds Quick to be incredibly noble, courteous, and brave. Melville uses Quick as a character in perpetual transition from savagery to civilization, and in the final chapters, after he suffers from an illness from while he wills himself recovered in an uneasy status between life and death. The relationship between Quigg and Isabel is the most intimate of the novel as the two become close companions. The next character is Top, the second mate on the Picood. Hmm. Stav is a Cape Cod native with a happy-go-lucky, carefree nature that tends to mask his true opinions and beliefs. Stav remains comical even in the face of the Emperor's Ahab, and he even dares to make a joke at the captain's expense. And the next character is Falks. So the third mate of the ship, Flask, plays a much less prominent role than either Starbucks or Stubb. He is a native of Martha's Vineyard with a pugnacious attitude concerning whales. Okay, Melville portrays Stubb as a man whose aptitudes cannot be stated, and in fact, in attempting to state these aptitudes, Flask become even more hungry. Then the next character is Pippin. Pippin, he is a young black man and a member of the Pickard crew. Pickard is the name of the ship, I think. Crew. So replies one of the Stubbs. Uh, Warsman, but became increasingly frightened while luring after a whale and jumped from the boat. And the Fedella, he is one of the dusky phantoms that compose Ahab's special whaling crew. The Asiatic and Oriental Fedalla, also called the Farsi, remains a muffled mystery to the other characters and represents a sinister figure for the crew of the uh, Picard. There are even rumors that he is the devil in disguise and wishes to kidnap Ahab. The next character is Peter Coffin. He is the innkeeper at the Spouter Inn where Isabel stays on his way to uh, Nantucket. And the another character is Father Maple. He is a famous preacher and former harpooner who has left sailing for the ministry. And the house I skip the screen because the video is too long that I don't want to uh Hoshi uh Hoshi. She is the owner of the Tripods Inn and the cousin of Peter Coffin. And the Plague, a retired sailor and former captain of the uh, Pequod. He is a frightening Quaker who owns the ship along with Bill, Bildad. Bildad. And the Bildad, the owner of the Pequod, along with Peleg. Bildad is also a uh, sorry, ficting Quaker. Ficting Quaker who scolds the crew of the Pequod for profanity and regrets having to leave the Pequod on its long voyage. And the Elijah is the he is a stranger that Isabel and Quick pass while staying in Nantucket, who ask if they have met old Thunder, and later asks the two if they have sold their souls to the devil by arguing to overtake a voyage on the Pequod. Then the character is Balking Tom, a sailor on the Pequod and a dangerous man just retired from a voyage that lasted 4 years. He returns to the sea almost immediately because of his affinity for life on the ocean. Then the character is Astigo. He is an Indian from Martha's Vineyard who becomes the hopper for the staff. Then the character is Dago. He is the gigantic African man who becomes the harpooner for Flask. The Dove Boy. Then the Perth Captain Mihu, Gabriel, Meshi, Derek, Den, Dr. Banzer, Captain Gardiner. Then I come to the Moby Dick summary. So